Anthony Miles had always believed in the power of hard work. But lately, hard work was ghosting him like a bad Tinder date. After a round of layoffs booted him from his construction job, the fridge was making more noise than meals, and the rent had started playing peekaboo with eviction notices. The car note was threatening to pull a Houdini, and the light bill showed up looking like it had beef. His wife, Janice, had started skipping meals, pretending she just wasn't in the mood to eat, even though everyone knew she was starving and just trying to stretch spaghetti into a survival tactic. Their home was filled with love, stress, and that one unspoken look couples share when the Wi-Fi might get cut off. Night after night, Anthony stared at the ceiling like it had answers, the stress on his chest heavier than a 3-layer pound cake. Janice, ever the realist, told him to try a driving app. He said no, construction was his thing. But after a few more sad peanut butter sandwiches and bill collectors calling like clingy exes, Anthony finally gave in. Desperation, after all, is the world's best motivator. One night, Anthony found himself behind the wheel at 2:04 a.m. on a Thursday. Prime time for weirdos, insomniacs, and tipsy philosophers. The streets were empty, the city dead quiet, and his stomach growled like it was auditioning for a monster movie. He was about to call it a night and go home to his off-brand cereal when the Drive X app pinged. 1 ride, 5 stops, $215. At 2 a.m.? In that part of town, that sounded like a setup. But that $215 could keep the lights on and maybe get some real groceries. Jesus, take the wheel. He muttered, Jesus, take the wheel, and tapped accept. The rider's name? Conrad D. Pickup Location, Sam's gas station, a place so sketchy even the stray cats wore switchblades. Anthony pulled up cautiously, windows half down and engine still running. And then, he appeared. Conrad emerged from the shadows like he was walking out of a horror film trailer. Tall, skinny, dressed head to toe in black like a ninja hoodie pulled tight. No bags, no eye contact. He slid into the back seat like a vampire from Transylvania. Hey, my man, you good? Cool, we don't have to talk. I've had weirder nights. One lady brought a pet iguana and made me stop at a drive-thru so it could get fries. So, you good? Still nothing. Just Conrad sitting stiff as a corpse, eyes glued to the window, breathing like someone trying not to be noticed at a murder scene. Man, I should have just kept driving. Got me out here feeling like the first 10 minutes of a Dateline episode. The GPS plotted a route through the city's roughest streets. 5 stops, no conversation. Just Anthony and his horror movie co-star in the back seat. It was going to be a long ride. Anthony pulled up to the first stop, a convenience store so sketchy. The flickering neon sign said open, but the place felt more haunted house. No cashier, no customers, just Anthony and his questionable life choices. Conrad slipped inside while Anthony stayed in the car, nervously eyeing the exit. Less than 2 minutes later, Conrad returned, clutching something in his pocket. Anthony pretended not to see it, choosing to play with the radio. The second stop? A rundown apartment building in the hood. Conrad strolled up to Unit 3C and left the door open. Anthony, nosy by nature, leaned forward just enough to catch absolutely nothing. But in his head, it was already a full-blown drug deal. Conrad came back 3 minutes later, moving like a man who robbed someone. Third stop, a suspiciously quiet residential house. Too quiet, like Lifetime movie quiet. Conrad didn't knock, he just walked in like he paid rent there. I pray this man no serial killer. 1 minute later, Conrad returned, holding his phone tight. His jaw twitched. Fourth stop, a house. Chain link fence, no lights, no signs of life, just a dim porch light. Anthony thought about texting Janice his last will and testament. Conrad disappeared into the black hole of a front yard and came back in under a minute, twitchy, pale, breathing like he just ran from a ghost. Drive. Anthony nearly peed. At 3 a.m., the last stop was an alley behind a greasy 24-hour diner that smelled like fried regret. Conrad got out, didn't say a word, and vanished into the shadows. I need a new app, like maybe a gardening app. Anthony exhaled like he just survived a horror movie. And technically he had. When he got home, the house was quiet. He tiptoed not to wake his family. Then kissed Janice on the forehead like a soldier returning from war, and slid into bed. Morning smacked him in the face with full brightness. Kids laughing, cartoons blaring, and the sweet aroma of bacon sizzling like nothing traumatic had happened 12 hours ago. Janice was flipping pancakes. Anthony sat at the table, eyes bloodshot, looking like a man who'd been to hell and back. He told the story about the weird, silent passenger in his back seat, trying to add a little flavor. The kids laughed. Janice smiled. But inside, Anthony still felt like something creepy was crawling on his spine. Yo, ride with me to the car wash real quick. Later that day, he linked up with his longtime partner, Jay Tucker, known as Jay Boogie, a man who lived his life carefree. Jay was loud, unpredictable, and somehow always broke, even though he had 6 hustles. They played cards. They smoked. Jay accused the deck of cheating. The man had the attention span of a goldfish. Anthony appreciated the distraction, until fate decided to act up. That's when Anthony spotted something. Black velvet and mysterious under the seat. Untied it, peeked in, diamonds. Not your average mall kiosk sparkle. These were somebody's gonna kill you if they missing level diamonds. What the F?
Yo, you good?
Jay, get over here, now!
Oh snap, is this a prank? Are they real?
They were in my car, bro. I think one of my riders left them.
You mean, like a blessing from God? Like, we just got adopted by Beyonce's accountant?
Or we're about to be featured on the 6 o'clock news in orange jumpsuits.
My brother, listen to me. This ain't crime if you found them. This is a cosmic upgrade. You didn't steal these, you received them. That's called being chosen like LeBron.
You think God gave me stolen diamonds on a Thursday night in the back of my Kia SUV?
I'm just saying. Sometimes blessings come in velvet pouches.
No, I need to know what this is. These could be stolen. This could be dangerous.
Bruh, you overthinking. Look at your life. Your lights flicker rent due. If these are real, we just skipped the struggle and bought the deluxe package of life.
I bet they belong to that last rider, Conrad. That man was creepy, like Netflix serial killer creepy.
Man, F that nigga. If he lost them, he don't know where. He could have dropped them at a strip club or the DMV. Ain't no tracking app for diamonds. We good.
They drove back to Anthony's place in tense silence, nervous and confused. Janice sat on the couch with the kids. Anthony took a deep breath, sent the kids outside, and broke the news. Every word felt like a brick on his chest. Janice didn't blink, but her eyes said it all.
You need to call Drive X or the police. This ain't no scratch-off ticket. This could get you killed.
Her voice shaking just enough to make Anthony's heart twitch. Jay damn near levitated off the couch.
Police? Oh, hell no. They don't ask questions. Next thing you know, you in a Netflix documentary, Diamonds and Dumb Decisions, and Drive X? Man, they'll just return it to whoever shows up to claim it. The way you described Conrad, he ain't claiming shit. Ain't no average nigga out here dropping a pouch of princess-cut dreams.
Anthony stared at the pouch like it had just grown fangs. Each second it got heavier, like it knew its own value. He looked at Janice, his queen, sitting in a crumbling kingdom. Her eyes said she was tired. Tired of hoping. Tired of waiting. This could change everything. That night, after the house went quiet, Anthony got in his car and drove over to see Dice, the neighbor relic. Dice knew everything and everybody. He can give me an idea of what I'm dealing with and how much these things may be worth. When Anthony arrived, he pulled one diamond from the pouch and kept the rest tucked away. He walked into the storefront that looked condemned, except for the single red bulb above the door. Inside, the air was thick with dust and something sour. Dice sat behind a cluttered desk, hunched like a spider, chain-smoking, his eyes yellow and sharp. Dice picked it up with tweezers, held it under a cracked magnifying glass, and studied it like it might whisper secrets. Did you steal this from a jewelry store? No, not exactly. Dice leaned in, his smile was thin. This stone? It's worth $500,000. Easy. You hear me? $500,000. Anthony felt his knees go soft. You serious? Dice didn't blink. He became intrigued. Where'd it come from? Do you have more? Thanks for the info, man. He left quickly, heart pounding. Meanwhile, across the city, Conrad was unraveling. Mr. K had trusted him with those diamonds. Over 20 flawless stones, each one worth a fortune. They weren't just pretty rocks. They were leverage, power, a key to an international deal that could crown Mr. K as a global kingpin. And now, they were gone, vanished. Conrad's mind raced, looping over every second of that cursed car ride. 5 stops, a quiet driver, a black velvet bag that never made it out of the back seat. That was it. That bag held his life, and now it was gone, swallowed by the underbelly of a city that didn't return what it took. The deal was set in 10 days. Warehouse near the docks, buyers flying in from Dubai, security already arranged. And now Conrad had to make the call that might cost him his life. His phone felt like it weighed 10 pounds. Sweat ran down his spine like cold syrup. He wiped his palms on his jeans, then brought the phone to his ear. It rang once, then a voice, smooth as silk, sharp as a razor. Talk. Conrad's voice barely came out. We have a problem. Continue. The package. I think it's missing, but I'm retracing my steps and... Missing? I don't know exactly how it happened. So what you're saying is, I entrusted you with the future of my empire and you dropped the ball. I didn't mean... You listen to me, you little punk. You find my diamonds. I don't care what you have to do, find my diamonds. Because if you don't, Conrad, I'm not just going to kill you, I'm going to erase your entire bloodline. Do you hear me? Conrad couldn't speak. He only nodded even though no one was watching. Click. The line went dead. And in the silence that followed, Conrad sat there, staring at his reflection in the dark window, knowing the clock had started ticking. Back at the crib, Anthony sat on his worn-down couch. The velvet pouch was on the coffee table in front of him, glowing under the light. Jay paced the room.
Bruh, listen, you know how people say God don't make mistakes? Well, I say God accidentally gave us 20 damn diamonds. That's a blessing, not a crime.
Anthony chuckled, shaking his head. You really out here trying to Bible verse your way into a felony.
I'm saying, you think Moses ain't flipped some silver back in the day? God helped him part the Red Sea, not return the loot.
These diamonds belong to somebody, Jay. Somebody who's not gonna post a Craigslist ad. They gonna come looking, and I got a wife and 3 kids who don't need that heat.
We broke, not blind. Ain't nobody come knocking yet, so maybe we in the clear. Let's ride.
Meanwhile, across town, Mr. K sat in his penthouse office, bathed in shadows, sipping dark cognac. His suit was black silk. A jaguar print rug sprawled beneath his feet like a warning. Conrad stood in front of him, stiff and pale, trying not to tremble. Tell me, is your brain bleeding or did I just hear you say the diamonds are missing? Conrad's throat clicked. I'm retracing the stops. I'm on it, sir. So now it's riding around in the back seat of some driver's car? He stood up slowly. Let me make something crystal fucking clear, Conrad. I want that driver's name, his address and his mama's address. You have 48 hours. Conrad nodded, shaking. Yes, sir. Good. Now get out before I use your spine as a paperweight. Back at Anthony's place, Jay was now holding the diamond pouch and talking to it like it was a baby.
We gonna name you Freedom. You hear me, Lil Sparkle?
If we don't play this smart, we'll be on the news. But not the kind with balloons and tearful interviews.
So, no group selfie with the diamonds?
This could be our way out, baby.
Still, Anthony couldn't shake the feeling that he was dancing too close to the edge. Every time he looked at those diamonds, he felt deep down, something was closing in. And he was right. Because across town, in a dim, musky motel room, lit only by the buzz of a TV on mute, Conrad sat hunched over his cracked phone. After hours of digging, retracing steps, and losing his mind, he finally pulled up his old ride history. And there it was, Anthony Miles. The name hit him like a slap. Conrad's eye twitched. His hands stopped shaking. He knew exactly where he left those diamonds. Fuck! Across town, Anthony was pacing. The velvet pouch now lived in a shoebox under the floorboards like a haunted secret.
You think he's coming back for the diamonds?
If they're worth what Dice said, hell, I'm sure.
What are we gonna do?
I'm thinking about sending you and the kids to your sisters down south until I figure it out.
I'm not leaving you, babe.
I think it's the best thing for now until this thing blows over.
So boom, right? Me and my guy stumble on some items. Let's just say I might be an investor now, in the jewelry business. You feel me? This don't feel like my bed. If this is a prank, I'm suing. Damn. I know I paid my child support. Keisha tripping over $150, damn.
The next morning, Anthony woke up with that gut feeling. You know the kind. Jay always texted back. Even if he is busy, he always texted. Anthony glanced at the floorboard where the diamonds were stashed. To take his mind off things, Anthony fired up the Drive X app and hit the road. But even with his playlist on shuffle, he couldn't focus. Every rider looked suspicious. Every drop-off felt like an ambush. He nearly punched a guy for asking. On his way home, he got a text from Dice. Are you Anthony? Who's asking? You have something of mine, and I have something of yours. Meet me where you dropped me, midnight. Don't be late if you want your boy back alive. We got a situation. Come to the shop, knock 3 times. I need help, man. They got J-Man. I have to bring the diamonds at midnight to the place where I dropped that weird motherfucker Conrad, or they gonna kill my man. Midnight? Okay, you go ahead and you make that appointment. I'll handle the rest. Dice took another puff of his cigarette. Anthony looked confused, but he did what Dice said. Anthony pulled into the alley behind the soul food diner, his engine rumbling low, headlights off, the duffel bag on the passenger seat. The alley was still and quiet, the kind of silence that pressed on your lungs. Conrad emerged from the shadows like a phantom. Same black hoodie. But tonight, his energy was different. He looked hunted, sweaty, shaky. He rasped. Anthony nodded once. He gripped the duffel. You don't understand. These diamonds, they belong to someone worse than you can imagine. If I don't get them back, my daughter dies. My whole family dies. Where is Jay? Just give me the diamonds now, please. But Anthony didn't move. He was not sure what Conrad was planning. A second car crept in behind them. Lights off. Doors cracked open. 2 men stepped out, all black jumpsuits. Quiet, tactical killers. That's Mr. K's muscle. Who is Mr. K? A man you never want to meet. The 2 goons pulled out guns. Conrad yelled. Shit, it's a setup. They're here to kill both of us.
Slide us the bag. No hero shit or you die quick and quiet.
Don't do it, Conrad.
You! They can't hold a good black man down. Y'all must not know who the hell y'all fucking with.
Go, go, go! You're alive, Jay. You alive?
Barely. Man, these dudes snatched me up outside Keisha's raggedy-ass house. Tied me up, threw me in a van, beat my ass like I stole lunch money. I was fighting back too. I was giving them the work. But then, whew, they caught me the body blows. Had me tied to a chair like I was in a Netflix series.
Do you ever stop talking?
They didn't know I had a phone in my damn shoe. I texted Dice, pinged my location, and this man pulled a whole SEAL Team 6. Called his cousin Danny, Marine vet, ex-ninja. Some John Wick type dude came flying in through a skylight. Bam! Got me out! I was gone, baby!
Dice shook his head, smiling despite the chaos. He pulled over side so Anthony could get into the back seat, the bag still clutched tight.
We alive, ain't we? That's all that matter.
Anthony looked down at the diamonds in his lap, then up at the stars flickering above the city. Two weeks later, Mr. K was sitting like a king in his glass-walled penthouse, wrapped in a black Italian suit and sipping aged cognac from a crystal glass. Smooth jazz drifted from hidden speakers, and the skyline glowed behind him like a trophy case. He had no idea his reign was seconds from collapse. Outside, 5 black SUVs surrounded the building. SWAT, FBI, and Homeland Security moved like shadows. No sirens, no warnings. The elevator was hacked, the cameras went dead, and then, FBI, hands where we can see them. He didn't even have time to set his glass down. Dozens of agents swarmed in. Within minutes, they uncovered hidden compartments filled with drugs, unregistered weapons, illegal bonds, counterfeit cash, and foreign IDs. But the crown jewel? A lockbox tied to an illegal diamond deal gone wrong. The diamonds, 20 flawless stones worth over $500 million, had vanished. Later that afternoon at Anthony's house, everything felt different. The past few weeks had been madness, but now, the sun was out, smoke curled off the grill, and peace hung in the air. Janice was on the back deck in a sundress, flipping burgers, while their 3 kids ran through the sprinkler in fits of laughter. The backyard felt like heaven. Inside, Anthony and Jay were kicked back on the couch, plates empty, bellies full. Dice was in the recliner, sipping a cold beer and nodding off. This just in, an international sting operation has brought down alleged crime boss known only as Mr. K.
Wait, turn that up.
Authorities confirmed that the diamonds at the center of this investigation were property of the royal family of Zaran and are valued at over $500 million. The FBI has issued a public statement. A $1 million reward will be given to anyone who returns the diamonds safely.
1 million? Anthony, you hear that? $1 million bucks?
Anthony looked out at the backyard, at Janice, at the kids, at the peace they had fought so hard for.
Man, we about to be rich and legal. No more Drive X, no more shady stops, no more running. I'm talking penthouses, jet skis, maybe even a chef. You know I don't cook.
Let's get that reward.
And after that, crab legs every Friday deluxe. We made it, baby.
To peace, finally. And as laughter filled the room and burgers sizzled outside, the chapter closed, not with sirens or gunshots, but with family, freedom, and the scent of barbecue in the air.